You know what OBS decided to do for the first time ever?
What?
Mute on boot. So the end of that match was unfortunately muted because I was like making sure that everything is going, and so we didn't get we caught the end. We are back live, but unfortunately OBS did crash. I do apologize to stream, right, of course, in the most inconvenient moment of that entire game. Yes, I feel very, very sorry for all of you, but I think you should be able to catch the end of that. You just won't hear us shoutcasting it as Cat Peach. Thank you so much for just taking that over. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work a computer anymore today.
It's okay.
In all
It's
fairness,
been a long day, I think. So.
in all fairness, I got to hear it, and that's what's important.
And you know what? That's the most important part.
Absolutely. It's really what the three of us get to enjoy over the rest of folks. But I suppose we can try to catch people up on what did happen, even though they will be able to see it, hopefully in a little bit. Simply, once the curse grabbed Stark on that Samuro, being able to constantly threaten that back door on the core of CGL White and simply keeping up that pressure with the Abathur hat coming out from Kagekiri. The rest of gillyshark just distracting elsewhere on the map, having to spread the resources of CGL away. And before you know it, Core's down to 50% health, and it ends up going down. So that's how it ended. Very low kill count here. We have 1 kill for CGL away, 8 on the side of gillyshark. So definitely played out far more in their favor than game number 1, I would say.
I was going to add, actually, because you guys mentioned it during the cast, that you haven't seen a cloned Summer before. I unfortunately have, because this was run against my team once, and it destroys the core, just like we saw right here. And so I knew that was coming in this game, and I'm like, oh, they're in for a treat, because it will happen.
Yeah, Lionhouse, actually, I'm interested in gathering your thoughts on that map with a very strange composition with the solo support Abathur. How do you think that went overall, and what are your generic takeaways from that matchup?
Well, one, I'm really happy that both my predictions were correct tonight, because last season I was absolutely terrible at my predictions, so clearly I got lucky. But with this comp in general, I liked it in the sense that it was very clear that gillyshark knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to control this map. They knew they had better macro for camps and everything as a whole. And they ran this, I would say, pretty much to perfection as for what they wanted to do. And clearly the Samuro pick, like Stark, was on point. Like, to see how often they were able to get in the back line with Stark, with Samuro, and just absolutely destroy the Raynor or the Deckard with the combo of the Junkrat bomb and then Stark finishing them off with Samuro. It was fun to watch. I mean, not if you're CGL White probably, but for us it was fun to watch.
No, it was a really, really great matchup, and to see them pull out this solo Abathur was so much fun to. It's just I think they got to play the map they wanted to do here. Sorry, I've been trying to get a message out to gillyshark to find out which member of the team wants to do the interview.
It looks like Chess Looter is already in a lobby, so I'm going to assume we're going to go talk to them.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump up into a lobby with Chess Looter, as I'm in the wrong Discord server, and I'm trying to look for the right channel. So yeah, we'll jump up to lobby 5. Hello, Chess Looter. I think you were sent here for the interview?
That would be correct. How's it going?
Right.
Good. Congratulations on your Game 2 victory. How you feeling after that?
I'm feeling really good. I was a little bit concerned after the first game, but we had a special strategy in store for that second game, and boy, did we execute it well.
I gotta say, it blew Cat Peach and I away when we were in the draft. We were just like, oh yeah, Dahako, Abathur too? So you guys really showed up here. Also, your poke on Junkrat was phenomenal throughout the game. I do have to commend you on that too.
Yeah, for some reason, teams still aren't banning it, so if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna try fixing it.
Yeah, let's talk about game number 1 actually for a little bit, because we were talking about that Johanna and the Sonya that you had on the front line there, and it seemed like in theory you should have had a lot of beacon control, but had a lot of difficulty really commanding that bottom lane. So what can you talk about what you sort of struggled with and what you were trying to adapt to during that matchup?
Yeah, so initially with the start on the 3-2 is really threw us for a loop. We were expecting more of a 4-1 lane matchup, where the Sonya would be able to shine, at which point the Junkrat would be bottom and we'd be able to use the traps and the mines and all sorts of Junkrat poke to be able to control the point as well. That didn't end up happening. So we had to send the Junkrat top to help contest the very aggressive Greymane and Karazim play. And so in that 3v3, we were struggling to both lane clear and keep up the point pressure. And in addition to top lane, they had heals there with the Karazim, which allowed them to snowball that lane in their favor as well. It was a really good strategy, and we weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We were kind of wondering how much that dive was going to do overall, but it ended up being a very interesting matchup for sure. But we obviously saw you have a lot of success on game number 2. And when we were going into this matchup, Stark had let me know that he was going to be running support in favor of Kaimo tonight. And so when I saw the Abathur and then the Samuro, I got very confused. Has this been something you've been practicing for a while in different flavors? Is it something that you think is a strategy that there's a reason you keep coming back to it? Because it's not the first time we've seen it from you this season.
So the part that Stark didn't tell you about when he was playing support is that Kaimo could only afford to pay him for one healer game.
I see. It's a per game cost. I gotcha.
Yeah, and it just wasn't in the budget, so we had to pick Samuro there. And
To be honest, when you guys drafted Chris Hall, I was just like, are they still gonna try it? Like, are they still gonna somehow fit a Samuro into tonight's matches? And you did it very, very well, and almost in a terrifying manner. Like, we were talking in the early game, I was just like, oh man, like their burst isn't that great. We got into the late game. Oh no! Anytime Stark came out of a bush, that was just a dead character in a sense. And then throw them on core post 20, you guys were just absolutely shredding it.
Well, yeah, if you look at our entire composition going down the line, we have people who can take care of themselves. Junkrat with his positioning, Arthas with the self-heals, ghouls, all sorts of survivability tools there. The Abathur's never even a kill target, and with Samuro, he's just a combination of pain for the enemy team.
Yep.
It's really a team that doesn't need a healer.
I gotta say, you guys played it so well. It was so much fun to watch. Before we kind of pass this, Limehouse, do you have any questions for Test Leader before we kind of wrap up our interview here?
What's your favorite cereal?
The hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions from Limehouse.
The people
really
want to know.
That's rough. Usually I prefer Frosted Flakes just because they're crispy and then they, as the milk absorbs into them, they dissolve into a goopy, sugary mess. But I accidentally bought some cinnamon-flavored Life at the store for one of my housemates, and that's what we've been rolling with recently.
See, and we would never have known this if I hadn't asked that question. In all fairness, I was gonna say I really did like your strategy in match number 2. I thought you guys looked pretty good in that sense for the camps and for controlling the map in match 1. You just got kind of outdrafted a little bit, so it was fun to see that match 2 you were ready for it. You knew how to control the map in the way you wanted to win that game, and it was really a very dominating performance. So I just want to say kudos and well played.
Thank you very much.
So before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give to the team? Or to anybody? Your cat, your dog?
I like the nudge there of like, do you want to shout out your team or...
I'm also like, I'm writing a message and trying to interview, and I'm just like, team, interview. Can you have words for team? So, but any shout-outs you have?
I can word good. First of all, the team deserves all of the shout-outs in the world and more. I'm happy to be playing for them this season. Thanks, of course, to Gilly for having this community that allows this team to develop and flourish. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Thanks, Twitch chat. And thanks, of course, to the awesome casting commentating duo.
Thank you.
I mean, we got kind of a trio here today,
Yeah.
but
I was barely here for an quote-unquote analysis, so...
Well,
couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. We really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see both of these teams further down the line throughout the season.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you, thank you. All right, everyone in the Twitchiverse. I think that's the right term. That is going to be wrapping it up for us here, but don't go anywhere. We will be rating over Ripper in just a second. We're going to get more Nexus Gaming Series matches in your face. But before we let you go, we'll kind of jump around a little bit here. Cat Peach, where can people find you? What are you up to? What do you do on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm hopefully going to be around NGS a bit more now that a few other things called Open Division have wrapped up for the season. But you can find me here on Twitch and over on Twitter at CatPeachGG. Do more casting here for NGS, part of the NGS stream team as well. I do a lot of stuff over at Heroes Hype as well, so you'll find me over there. And generally, I made a very disturbing Pervious joke today if you played Doki Doki Literature Club. So if you're into that kind of stuff or into pictures of hedgehogs, you know where to find me and talk about those things.
Bob. And so to Linehouse, where can people find you?
I'm easy. Twitch.tv Linehouse, and Twitter is also Linehouse. I write for the site for NGS, for Division B actually, which I think is why they dragged me in here. And I also play for a team that's really terrible in Division A, subject to change. But I will be casting another Div B match later tonight, actually, if anybody wants to check that out. Regen Blue versus the Guardian esports team.
And what time will that be on? Just so people know what time to go to Linehouse.
8 p.m. Pacific time, so about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, you're going to have another match. Just go check out his stream. I am Bahamut. You can find me at twitch.tv/Bahamut Gaming, on Twitter as Bahamut Gaming, everywhere on the internet as Bahamut Gaming, even in your LinkedIn. So I don't have a LinkedIn. But no, thank you all so much for checking out the games, for cheering. Thank you for sticking through with these little technical difficulties that we had. But at this point, we are going to be rating over Ripper. They are going to be casting some more Nexus Gaming Series matches for you all. But that wraps it up for us. Thank you all so much for these games. Thank you for hanging out. This has been an absolute blast from Cat Peach, Linehouse, and I. That'll be it.
And can I incentivize people to go to Ripper because there's totally a Cho'Gall game going on right now.
Do
so
it.
Please go check that out.
We're ending stream. Thank you all for hanging out. We will see you next time. Goodbye.